today with Pastor Jay, and I have none other than the CFO. So we're getting ready to record. Mark, you let me know when you're ready. Okay, I'm ready.
You are now tuned in to Today with Pastor Jay on WNZF News Radio, where we discuss inspiring and informative news. And now here's your host, Pastor Jerlyn Denny.
Good morning, good morning. Wake up. Good morning. What a wonderful and beautiful day it is to be alive. And boy, oh boy, do I have a treat for you. I have none other than the CFO of the state of Florida. That would be Jimmy Patronis. He's a native Floridian, born and raised in Panama City. He has done quite a bit for the state of Florida. He oversees the state's accounting and auditing functions and unclaimed property. He monitors the investment of state funds and manages the deferred compensation program and risk management program for the state. So I want to say good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
So I have met you multiple times. Multiple times. And as I was looking, I didn't realize you are also the state fire marshal. What kind of hat is that?
So the state fire marshal and the role that I play, whether it be coordinating our urban search and rescue, that's anytime there's a disaster from a hurricane to the Surfside building collapse, we deploy out and coordinate all urban search and rescue first responders. So up in Northeast Florida, you've got Task Force 5. So we have 8 task forces in the state, all of which were deployed most recently in Hurricane Helene. We run the state's bomb squad. We also do arson investigations. We run the state's fire college, and we also help enforce the state fire code. So we wear a lot of hats in that particular silo. In addition, we do all insurance fraud. We license over 1 million insurance agents. I sign the checkbook for every paycheck and pay every invoice, sign every check for every retirement account. But again, we're the insurance company for the state. Whenever the state of Florida makes an insurance claim, a building, a car wreck, that's state property, it comes to us. It just goes on and on and on. But I tell people I got the best job in the state. And the great thing about it is when you go to the Capitol, at one end of the hallway is Ron DeSantis, the other end is my office, and Ron DeSantis won't show up to work unless I sign his paycheck. So we've got a lot going on, and I tell people affectionately, I'm the state's business manager.
Well, I want to thank you so much for your service to the state of Florida. So let's get in. We just had this recent hurricane. What do we look like?
So state of Florida, I don't want to say we dodged a bullet because there was effects from Helene that are still going to be painful for a long time. As Helene followed almost the exact same track as Idalia and Debbie, it went through the Big Bend of the state. The only silver lining to it is there's not any big population centers. So there's still just as much hurting going on, just not as many people hurting. There's still a lot of insurance claims being filed, just not as many insurance claims being filed. So for the financial impact of the state, it's less. The pain and suffering still terrible, but what you had is that storm, Helene, was so massive. I mean, we're talking about a storm that's bigger than the state of Florida. The outer bands of it, as the storm swings in a counterclockwise motion, depending on where that storm is, it can create massive amounts of storm surge. And this was a concern that I had on Tuesday night, is that Tampa Bay was going to get hammered with storm surge. And that's exactly what happened. So we're here in Tampa Bay right now. We're holding people's hands because part of what we also do is we help in the insurance claims process as we do insurance consumer services. And we arrest the bad guys that try to get in between you and your insurance claim and take advantage of you. People are vulnerable right now because they're trying to put their life back together. And these predators come in and they're the worst of society. I tell people, after a storm, you see the best of humanity, the good folks, the good Samaritans. They come day 3, day 4. The predators are here hours after the storm, and they will ruthlessly take advantage of our citizens. And my job is to make sure we put those guys in jail.
My son is in Asheville, North Carolina, and they were hit.
Oh my goodness.
They were hit quite a bit. And I'm thinking about if that had happened here in Florida. Thankfully, my son is very resourceful. He and his wife. I mean, he's one of those that can filter water. He'll figure it out. He's always been that kind of kid, you know. But when you look at the impact of what's happening in Tampa and different parts of the state, and you talk about insurance fraud, how is Florida protecting those from these insurance frauds? They getting information out there. You know, what are they doing? Because we have a lot of vulnerable, like you said, our elderly. They don't know. They really and truly don't know, and there's been quite a bit on the rise.
Well, and one, it's nice being with you on the air because we're going to educate some more people through this opportunity. We do a lot of media, we do a lot of social media, we do a lot of engagement. So this morning, we've already done 5 TV interviews, we've done 1 radio show, and we try to turn up the volume. And I just try to keep the message simple. Tell people, do not sign anything. Anytime you sign a document, you are obligating yourself or maybe your insurance claim to some type of document that has been presented to you that may take advantage of you and your insurance claim. So if you don't sign anything, there's zero chance you can be taken advantage of. There's not a single reason why your insurance company needs to for you to sign anything for you to get money. But what will happen is these predators will come and they'll get you to sign an assignment of benefits. That's where they're asking you to assign your benefits to somebody else. That means they take over your insurance claim. Or the others, directional payments. They're going to direct your payments somewhere else. And it's unbelievable that these are legal in the state of Florida. But the crazy thing is whenever you go to an emergency room, the first thing you sign is an assignment of benefits. That allows the hospital to bill your insurance company to take care of your health care needs. So that particular document has gotten perverted in the property insurance environment, where people have then taken over and bill your insurance company and leave you, unfortunately, not getting the type of resources you deserve.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about some other things. I have a guest in the studio, and that's none other than Sharon Demers, but we've got to take the break. We're
Hey,
going to take the
Sharon.
bill, blah, 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 blah. We have to take a break. We need to pay the bills. Don't go anywhere, guys. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay. I'm glad this is pre-recorded because I would be all over the place. Okay. You ready, Mark? We're just going to go back in. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening today with Pastor Jay. And my highly esteemed guest is the CFO, Jimmy Patronis, who is amazing. I've met him previously several times, multiple times. He's always treated me with kindness and respect no matter where I see him. And I have a fan of his in the studio, and that's none other than Sharon Demers. She's a good friend of mine. And those of you know, she and I, we go around. She's my ride and die chick.
Yes.
We're always together, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
And man, you are a fan
I
of
am a big fan of Jimmy Patronis.
Let's talk about that because I heard you got some money for some windows.
Absolutely. He set up a program. It's called My Safe Florida Home. And that program is helping people harden their homes so they're protected during hurricanes. And my house was built in 82. I have single pane windows, and you can touch them in the summer, and they're too hot to touch. So if we had a bad hurricane right here in Flagler County, definitely something would be coming through one of my windows. So I applied for the program just like any other citizen in the state of Florida can. And I was approved for a $10,000 grant.
$10,000?
Yes, $10,000. It's amazing.
Oh, wait, you say a grant. That means you don't have to pay it back?
I don't have to pay it back. Thank you, Jimmy Patronis.
Oh,
You're welcome. So what happened to your insurance rates?
Oh, the windows aren't in yet, sir. So
Okay,
there's
so you got more than.
lot
So
of
what's
steps.
well, Sharon, thank you for sharing that story. What's going to happen is once you get those windows replaced, and you need to make sure you do your doors also if they're not wind rated doors. But I bet you your insurance will drop 50%.
Really?
And that will be your new rate going forward. What we did years ago back in '07, I was in the legislature at the time. We had another insurance crisis back then. It happens. It's like a cyclical thing. And we put into law, if you put impact windows in, impact doors, if you got hurricane clips, if these improvements are made to your home, the state of Florida said, insurance company, you must provide discounts if these home hardened and proven scientific improvements are made to the home. And so in my case, I did what the program prescribes, but I didn't use the money. I administer the program. Lightning would have struck me if I'd have used the money. So I paid for it out of my own pocket. And I ordered my windows in May. In November, my insurance rates doubled by the time I got to November. I went from $3,500, I got all the way to $9,500. December 28th, everything was all installed. I had what's called a windstorm mitigation inspection. January 2nd, I got a check back from my insurance company for $4,500. So once those improvements are in place, the discounts then kick in.
You mentioned that you served in the Florida legislature. Do you believe that that prepared you for the position that you are in now, and you're able to go and kind of speak the language a little bit and say, "Hey, we need something here in Florida. We need some grant money. We need something."
It helps, but I tell you what helped me more in in doing this job was good people. You know, I got to work in the restaurant business for 30 years. My attitude's always been that everybody's a customer, and you take care of people, no matter where they come from. So I'm a big believer in taking care of the citizens of the state of Florida. And then you had good folks that took an interest in me that helped me learn how to be a better public servant. And that's guys like Rick Scott. He's a mentor to me. And anyway, the legislature was what was great about the legislature. I learned how to work the process to make sure we get the policies passed. So again, I'm a little bit of a gray hair. There's not much left. It's turning gray, but we do advocate for the things that the people need because I try to listen to the customer.
The insurance crisis has been a huge problem across the state of Florida, and people have been crying and complaining about it. Why are we where we are with this insurance crisis, and what has the state of Florida done to fix it?
Sure. So we had gotten to the point in the state of Florida, and again, the insurance crisis is not the first time that we've had one of these. If you look at what happens, the legislature doesn't create loopholes in the process. Loopholes get taken advantage of. Just like I told you about the AOB process, here was a loophole that was exploited. You use an AOB in the hospital, so these predators came in and said, let me use an AOB on homes, okay? Let me use them on cars. So this was a way that unscrupulous attorneys were going and getting their hands on your insurance claim and driving insurance companies out of the state of Florida. And when you have fewer companies in the state of Florida, there's fewer to compete for your policy. And that means the rates are going to go up. We had gotten to a position in Florida where 79% of all litigation nationwide originated out of the state of Florida. 8 out of every 10 insurance claims had an attorney attached to them. Yet we only generated 8% of all insurance claims nationwide. So we had a broken system. It was being exploited. It was being perverted. And so we had to close that loophole. And it's not easy. In Tallahassee, you got this big table. It's got insurance agents, insurance carriers, attorneys, contractors, public adjusters, and they're all there fighting for their piece of the pie that the state regulates. The one person that was not getting a seat at the table was the policyholder. So we had to force our way into that table. We had to put the policyholder at the table, and we had to make everybody take a spoonful of medicine to learn that they're not going to take advantage of our citizens anymore, and you're not going to exploit the system. Since we've done that, we've had 9 new companies come into the state of Florida. They're fighting for business. I've told people it's going to take 12 to 18 months to see the rates go down. Here we are at about month 16, and 22 carriers have filed for rates in Florida this year with no rate increase. 12 have filed for a rate decrease. So the measures that we took are working. It just doesn't happen overnight. It's a trickle effect. Bad storms don't help either, but so far so good. This has been an excellent year for the Florida policyholder because we're going in the right direction.
One of the things that Sharon is really good at is shaking trees and getting money. She will not leave money on the table. And she's always searching for money. And she found some unclaimed funds. Let's talk about that.
So
You got me wanting to look now.
Yeah,
I want to see. There's got to be some money with my name on it.
So Florida has a unclaimed funds website, and you just go in and type in your name, and you look and see if there's any money there for you. And I thank you, Jimmy Patronis. I found it $47 from an insurance company that I used to work for. And, it was unexpected, and it had my name and address on it, so it was me. But over the years, I always look. Once a year, I go on and look, and I found money from my brother-in-law, my father-in-law, one of my nephews, and go back. I tell people all the time, go back to the state you moved from. Since you moved, there may be a deposit check there from your light company or water company, and it's always worth a quick search because all you have to do is fill out the form and off you go. A check is in the mail. Thank you, sir.
Sharon, are you sure you're not on the payroll? God, that was a great explanation.
If there was a possibility for her to be on the payroll, she'll figure it out because
Right.
she will find a dime. Hey, it's funny. We have these conversations all the time, and I'm sure I've got some money. Where does these unclaimed funds go? They just sit there forever? I mean, do we get to use them?
Last year we issued about $330 million of unclaimed property, but we get money in every single day. We also get safety deposit boxes. So, I tell people all the time, go search your name, your mother's name, your grandmother's name, a business that you own, a business that you sold, a business that you closed. So all those 1 in 5 Floridians has something in our unclaimed property vault. So we send out money every single day, but you got to go visit fltreasurehunt.gov, fltreasurehunt.gov. And I'd be shocked if you don't have something in there. Everybody does.
In Biden's economy, I need some extra money. I can tell
That's
you
right.
that.
That's right.
So I'm going to be looking. Everyone needs to go to the website and to find out. So what's the best part of your job? I mean,
you will get me emotional talking about this, but I still think one of the best parts of the job is Florida still has a cabinet. And no state in the country still has a cabinet. We're all elected. We get to serve together, whether it be the Highway Patrol reports to the cabinet, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the Office of Insurance Regulation, the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Office of Financial Regulation, the Department of Revenue. These are all cabinet agencies, and they report to this board of directors. It creates for great checks and balances. The one element that's there is also the Board of Clemency. And on the Board of Clemency, this is where people are coming back to us to want to either get a pardon or their civil rights or their gun rights back. And I'm a people person. I love seeing success stories. And you see people at a young point in their life where they did something real stupid, and maybe they did it multiple times. And, I love asking this question. And you get a young man, a lot of men come up and all of a sudden, I get a lot of data, and I'm looking at their data, and I can tell that they ain't even got a parking ticket since 2004. And so I'll talk to the guy, and, he's had the same job since 2004. And I'll ask him, I said, hey, so tell me something, are you married? And he goes, yes, it's like a committee. They come and they report to us. I said, you married? Yeah, I'm married. When did you get married? He says, 2004. I ask him, you got kids? Yeah, I got a little girl. When was she born? She was born in 2004. And you see how strong the family unit can be to make people good. And you see these success stories of people that, they screwed up with their kid. They were in with the wrong people, the wrong crowd. And then you see them, now they're stable. They're giving back to the community. They're giving back to their church. They want to be a responsible part of society, and they want to close this chapter in their life that they're not very proud of. And so it's very humbling for them. It's powerful. It enriches your soul when you see a good person who screwed up that wants to pay for it in more ways back in their communities. And that's one of the parts of the job we don't talk about much, but it's very rewarding to see these folks, be able to resurrect themselves, find the Lord, make a difference in somebody else's life. It's always a good woman who turns it around.
And it breaks a cycle of crime too. People don't even
100%,
realize
100%.
that. Breaks the cycle of crime. I'm the chapter leader for an organization called Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice here in Flagler County. And how do you make rules and laws that affect people of crime? You ask the people that are most affected by crime. And 9 out of 10 will tell you, we would rather have somebody restored. We want them to have good jobs. We want them to be able to move forward with their life because of past mistakes. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. We've got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. You are listening to Today with Pastor Jay. Okay, I have 3 minutes. I'm going to just give a shout out to a couple of people, and then we're going to go in, and I'm just going to make it just a little bit more personal. Talk about your wife, your kids, and this restaurant. Is this restaurant still open?
Oh yeah. It's been almost 60 years.
I like to eat in case. All right. We'll talk about that. You ready? Want to give a thank you and a shout out to Church on a Rock and Massage by Natalie. Thank you for sponsoring Today with Pastor Jay. And to remind everyone, immediately after my radio show, you could listen to me minister. Yes, you can. Geraldine Ministries Reverse Church by conference call 904-701-7177. So, Jimmy, listen, I like to eat. And what's this about this family restaurant that's been around forever? You know, this is great. Where the food at?
Yes, it's over in Panama City Beach. It's called Cat Marison's Restaurant. My dad and uncle started it back in '67, so we're coming up on 60 years, and I'm the baby of three brothers. So there's the three of them that are running the restaurant now, and I decided to go a little more full time to public service in 2017, and I've got a saint at home for a wife. Her name's Katie. This year is going to be our 20th anniversary.
You have two sons, right?
I got two boys. My baby turns 14 on Thursday, and my eldest is 16. And before you know it, in a blink of an eye, they're no longer boys; they're men. So very fortunate.
They consider what you do a political position. Have they had that political pressure?
Oh no, I tell you, they're my biggest cheerleaders. I'll take either one or the other on the road with me, and they get eat up with it. And what's so cool is when you see them at a table start talking, and because you forget your kids listen to everything. They're little sponges, and they come up with opinions, but they're little parrots. They repeat what you say, and a lot of times you just got to be self-conscious about what you're doing because you're a role model to somebody else. And I'm fortunate my guys, let's say knock on wood, have been fine young men.
I want to thank you again for coming on the show. Truly, it's been an honor to have you. And I see that your faith is very evident. So thank you so very much for sharing your faith as well. You know, it's not always what you say, but what you do. And what you've done for the state of Florida has been proven to be effective, has proven to be great.
Yes, thank you very much, Jimmy Patronis. And I just want to remind everybody, go to mysafeflhome.com and see if you can get into the program.
Well,
Give Sharon a hug for me, please.
I'm gonna have to. I'm telling you, she's the one. She is absolutely the one. I'm gonna tell everybody to go to fl.treasurehunt.gov because we need some money. We need the money. We need the money. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
See y'all.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
You know what I say. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not promised. What are you going to do today? You're going to learn a little bit more about your CFO. Go look up Jimmy Patronis and see all the wonderful and great things he's doing for the state of Florida. Have a great day.
Thank you.
God bless, ladies. Thank you.